everyone, welcome to A Godly Home. I did not get any videoing done last week. It was a very strange week. I had done all the videoing the week before and was releasing the week in the life of video on Monday. And it took me so long to edit that because I wasn't able to do any editing the week before that it just set me behind for the whole week and I wasn't able to do any filming. And then we had the mass shooting here in Maine, and that just had me so upset. I didn't feel like doing a lot of filming and stuff later in the week. And then I had my friend and subscriber Maria over Saturday with her husband, and we made cinnamon rolls, and I had planned on filming that for you guys. And we just spent the whole day laughing nonstop and talking about everything under the sun. And when we got the cinnamon rolls done, I realized we forgot to film them. So I just got a photo of her with one of the cinnamon rolls. So I'll just show that in next week's video because I don't really have time to edit tonight either. And then Sunday, I was up with my grandmother, and it was Pastor Appreciation Day at her church. So I was up at 5 o'clock in the morning cooking a whole bunch of stuff for the Pastor Appreciation dinner afterwards. And I thought, well, maybe I could get some of that filmed, and then it didn't happen. I had all I could do to get all the stuff cooked, get it up there, do Sunday school church, work the kitchen, that kind of stuff. I know some of you are very interested in potluck type videos, and I really wish that I had filmed some of that, but I will tell you a little bit about what I did because it will probably help you guys out if you have to do potluck or cooking for a larger crowd. And I was a little overwhelmed. I'm thinking, how am I going to do this with the week that I have? But my subscriber, Becky, had said, why don't you make your zucchini stuffing casserole as one of the things you're bringing? And I was so glad she said that because I had zucchini blanched and frozen from the garden all ready to go for these casseroles. So I got up at 5 o'clock Sunday morning and I started by making a cornbread, and I did it into muffins. And I popped that into the oven first. And then while that was baking, I made a pan of 1, 2, 3 squares, got those mixed up and in the oven. And if you've never made 1, 2, 3 squares, they basically are a nice square that fills a whole cookie sheet. So it's great like for a big crowd like a potluck, and they use your leftover coffee and some chocolate chips, brown sugar, little flour, egg, not much of anything. Now I have not made those on the channel before, and I will do that for you guys soon. I'll link the cornbread recipe of mine down below. I have a video on that. The zucchini casserole, I have a video on that. I will link that down below. So that was next. While those were in the oven, I layered up the zucchini casserole in a 9x13, covered it with aluminum foil, and baked that off at the church. I didn't try to do that at home because there's going to be a long gap. I was leaving here at 7:30 in the morning, and we weren't going to be having the Pastor Appreciation dinner until probably 12:30 in the afternoon. Then I picked up a big package of red hot dogs, 2.5 pounds of red hot dogs and some rolls. And then earlier in the week, I had cooked up a pound of hamburger and added taco seasoning to it and threw it in the freezer. So I loaded all of this up into the pickup, including like toppings for chili, like nacho chips, sour cream, cheddar cheese, hot dog rolls, some butter. Made sure I had my can opener with me. So when we got to the church, and I brought 2 empty crock pots, that's important information. So when we got to the church, I had Marissa with me and my husband with me. We lugged everything in, and before Sunday school, we got the fellowship hall kind of set up a little bit, like salt and pepper shakers on the table, and made sure the tables were clean. And I put a chili together in my first crock pot and turned it up on high. I added that taco hamburger, a can of black beans, 2 cans of kidney beans. I drained those in a jar of salsa, and then I added just a little bit of water until it was the right consistency I wanted and turned it up on high. Everything else went into the refrigerator, and I went up and did Sunday school. Then after Sunday school, I came down, and Marissa and I browned up all of those red hot dogs. It was 2 frying pans worth, and we browned them all over, and we dropped them in that other crock pot on just the keep warm setting. We took the zucchini casserole, stuck that in the oven on 350 degrees, and then we went back up and did church. And then when church was done, we came back downstairs, and then we just started putting all the hot foods and all the foods and stuff out on the table for everybody. And it was a good time. It was a nice service. The pastor did not have to preach. They told him they were hijacking his service because it was going to be their pastor appreciation day. And a man in the congregation preached, and he did a wonderful job. He talked about the things that can keep God from answering our prayers, and he had 9 or 10 points of consideration for that, along with a personal story. And some different people in the congregation read poems or spoke about how much they appreciate him. It was just a really, really good time. And then when we got done church, we had a man waiting in the entryway that had never been there before. And he joined us for the dinner and said he would be coming back. So that was kind of nice. And I thought we might have just 11 people because the congregation has been kind of small, but I think we had like 20 people if my husband counted right, because I asked him. And the dining room was so full that my family had to go sit in a Sunday school room in order to find a place to sit and eat. So that was super, super encouraging and exciting. God is doing great things in this little church, but their congregation is older people. So we really are praying for some new members and things like that, because we don't want to see the church end up closing due to low membership and things. So it's always a blessing to be up with my grandmother, and it's always a blessing to be at that church with her. It's where my heart is, and it's just a wonderful time. Even though I'm traveling 3 hours that day, it is just, I love being there so much. And so then Marissa had gotten my grandmother like a whole bag of books from the thrift store that Graham could read, and Graham was pretty excited about that. We had coffee and stuff at my grandmother's before we came home. It just was a super, super great day, and it was a super great week. I enjoyed Maria and her husband's visit so much. As I said, we just laughed and laughed and laughed. And in case you haven't kept up with the news, the man that had done the mass shooting was found, and he had killed himself. So that nightmare is over, and just the whole thing makes me feel bad. He had been mentally ill and had asked for help. He didn't get the proper help. All of this has happened. It's just, And there's so many things to consider about it. I still do not understand why the news was giving such false information. And even when they found him dead, the first statement they released said he was in the woods. The second statement said he was in a dumpster. And the final statement said he was in a trash trailer, like to hook onto a truck to pull the trash out, that he was in there. So it's like, with that and the fact that they kept changing the numbers, they would give us these high numbers of people injured and then drop it way down. It's like either they're injured or not injured. What is this about? Like, it just kept us overly upset because they couldn't get the news right and you didn't know even slightly what was actually going on. So, let me see, what else can I tell you about? Today, it has been snowing. It's just cold. The weather has changed. And I don't have any curtains hanging up in the living room right now. I have some new ones and had intended on hanging those up last week. And I don't have that done. And I need to try to do that tonight because the weather is just changed, and you know how it is if you don't have curtains, it can get kind of cool. I don't know how much filming I'll get done this week either. At this point, starting with Sunday yesterday, I will be going to my grandmother's every week, and I actually was supposed to be going Friday and Sunday this week, but Dad's gonna take my place on a little family gathering so that I only have to go on Sunday. So I don't know how much I can keep up with, especially when we get into the holidays and stuff. But you guys will see something from me on Mondays. It just won't be necessarily anything all that exciting. And I absolutely will continue with the Testimony Thursday videos at 5 p.m. Eastern Time, live every week. And this week we will be continuing with the mother-in-law story. And we will be talking about Ruth and Naomi from the Bible. And if you missed last week's, we just talked about mother-in-laws and personal experiences and maybe some reasons why mother-in-laws do not get along with their daughter-in-laws or son-in-laws or vice versa. So it was a pretty interesting topic. And I'm so thankful for everybody that has been joining that, either on the live or during the playback. Everybody seems to be saying that it's making a big difference in their week. And I just love hearing that. I love the opportunity to study the scriptures with you guys and fellowship afterwards. And Marissa and I have some interesting stuff planned for the month of December with Testimony Thursday. So it has just been a big blessing. Okay, I'm about 13 minutes in here, and I don't feel like I've given you guys much helpful information. I'm just tired and rambling away about basically nothing. And I'm going to wrap up the video, and I hope everybody is doing well. And oh, I have one last thing I forget to tell you. When Maria came, she made me a beautiful carrot cake. It was delicious. I brought some of that to the Pastor Appreciation Dinner, and everybody enjoyed that. Thank you, Maria, for that. And I will show you a picture of that in next week's video. Also, the cinnamon rolls and the cake she brought me. That's all I have, is just those photos. I might as well roll them over into the next video that, I'll be hopefully editing. Okay, guys, thanks so much for watching. Bye.